Hello, my name's Brad Teal, and today I'm talking with Anne Crampton. And Anne is an architect, and her company Crampton D&A is a local Essendon firm. And one of the things that I get asked enormously around the market when I go into value homes is we don't know whether to move homes or renovate, extend and renovate what we currently own. And so that's where an architect comes in. And the architectural qualities that come through extensions and the right renovations suiting a particular style of home, it's imperative that you get it right to value add and also have a program that you can stick to. So Anne, what are the benefits of using an architect in such a brief as I just described?
Oh Brad, the benefits are actually multiple, mainly because we collaborate with the client to realise their vision. And essentially we come up with a customised space for the client. We also coordinate the services of consultants. We apply for permits, we prepare contract documents, we put the contract documents out to competitive tendering. We essentially take the stress out of the whole building process for a client. We can save clients money. We certify progress payments to builders, and that's how we add value.
Do you say to someone, look, give me your scrapbook with all of the pages pulled out of the Home Beautiful and Vogue and Architectural Digest to get a feel for what they like? Or do you, as in work with them, or do you say, no, give us a blank canvas and we'll do what we want?
No, absolutely not. We prefer to work with the client. We look at, what things interest them, and if they're passionate about design or certain elements of architecture and building, well, then we want to run with that and make sure that we come up with something that expresses them more than anything. It's not an expression of us, but it's an expression of the client and what they want to achieve. So
the other important thing is budget. And invariably people say, I've got $200,000 to spend, and you work within that budget as the primary focus or the secondary focus?
No, definitely primary. Often people have a budget, but their expectations don't align with their budget. So my first point on budget is to say, look, I think what you're telling me is that your budget really isn't going to stretch to everything you want. So you're going to have to cut back what you want, or you might have to increase your budget.
And one of the things in some of the homes that I've seen that you've renovated and extended, there is a huge use of the palette of natural timbers, stone, face bricks, and the use of materials out of the old demolition. In particular, one in Aberfeldy, I saw that and I thought that was a wonderful technique. And you enjoy doing that?
Well, what we try to do when renovating, one of our golden rules is to respect the building that we are working on. So we look at the building's history and we look at the materials and we try and work with it. We don't work against it.
The builders that you work with, you go through the tender process, selection, and also do the inspections and liaise, become the buffer between the builder and the family instructing?
Absolutely. That's the contract administration part of the project, and not everyone employs us to do that because that can often run for 12 to 18 months. But we do. We meet with the builder on site once a week. We're probably on the phone to the builder every day. We're checking that he's putting the correct materials in accordance with the contract documents so that you are getting what you are paying for. We also check that he's not over-certifying and not claiming too much money up front, that you only pay for 50% completion if that's all he's done. So we work with lots of builders in the local area, but the beauty of using an architect is that you can actually not only have your building customised to your needs, but then you can have that building put out to tender to 5 or 6 different builders.
Heritage overlay is something that is almost a scare factor for buyers. They see a heritage overlay, and depending on whether it's a home overlay or a streetscape overlay, they have fear about it. in fact, I think streetscape overlays are working tremendously well because the whole area lifts in line with what the street was maybe 60, 80, 100 years ago. And you work with the overlays?
We do, Brad. I mean, we have to. They are the law. And I agree with you. I think we should have many more overlays in different parts of our suburbs. And I think I don't think people should necessarily be scared of overlays. I think they're just another constraint that can perhaps add value to their project and really drive something really lovely. So,
your favourite design trend that has emerged over the last few years in particular?
Oh look, we have lots of favourites, but I think my favourite particularly for inside is that we're moving away from plasterboard walls and ceilings, and we're coming back to texture. Things like timber walls and timber ceilings. I think the timber is moving off the floors and up the walls and onto the ceilings, and also bagged and painted brickwork, so that you get texture, and tiles on slabs.
Old trends, have you seen a revival?
Yes, definitely. All the metallics are coming back. We're seeing lots more copper, gold, bronze finishes, particularly on tapware and light fittings.
Gold as in brass?
Yes.
So
yes.
the 70s return?
Yes, 70s and 80s are back. Yeah. Steel windows are becoming very popular.
Yeah. So the old,
part of that industrial look.
Yeah, the old casement windows with the little brass handle that you would swing open.
Well, they're becoming more sophisticated. Yeah. They're now double glazed, but big doors. Big steel frame doors, floor to ceiling. They can look really great. The other thing that I thought would never come back, but I did see in a cafe or a restaurant in Brunswick recently, was diagonal timber lining, which was very typical of the 70s.
Yeah.
And we
cathedral ceilings and then the cross.
That's right.
Angle.
We all thought was very naff, but definitely diagonal timber is back, and also breeze blocks are coming back too. The old concrete blocks which were sort of hollow.
Yeah.
Besser
blocks,
yeah, and often some of them used to have patterns in them, but now you can actually get nice square, different shaped ones, but
and colours.
Yeah, that's right.
Where do you see the trend in architectural design going forward for the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, my vision for housing is that, obviously there are a lot more apartments being built, but I would love to see more apartments like the Commons in Brunswick and the Nightingale in Fairfield that are built right near public transport. They are driven by multiple bottom lines, not just profit, that design and community is part of those developments. Those of us lucky enough to still be in single dwellings, I think we'll see many more PV cells on roofs, but I think what I'd like to see is houses with their own charging stations for electric cars. So I have a green vision.
PV cell is photovoltaic?
Voltaic. And even houses clad in photovoltaic cells, or cladding would be wonderful to have cladding on buildings that actually captures energy like PV cells do.
So I'd like to now thank Anne for coming in. It's been a wonderful chat, and I really appreciate the fact that you gave up your time and a very insightful discussion, and thank you kindly for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Brad. It's been a pleasure.
Good. All right. Thank you.